I've got 8 random questions here. I give
Okay,
you 3 rolls on this tower, and whatever I land on, those are the questions that we start with.
cool.
What is something that you did for a past project that now makes you say, I'm really glad I tried that at one point, but I don't need to do that ever again?
Well, okay, I really like hot dogs. And you can't like have a hot dog every day if you really want to be healthy. That's just not it's not great for your cholesterol. And you probably will stop liking them as much. So anyway, I think of them as a treat. And there was a movie where I had to eat a hot dog and they were like, here's the spit bucket. And I was like, no, 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 I don't need the spit bucket. I just want to eat a lot of hot dogs because I like them. And I was like, I promise there's no way we're going to do that many takes. Like, we're not going to do more than like, you know, 5 takes of this. And in each take, I'm only eating like a bite. It's going to be the equivalent of 1 hot dog. It's not a big deal. And they were like, are you sure? And I said, yeah, for sure. Obviously, like once the hot dog was in front of me, much like with like a weed brownie, when people are like, just eat half. And you're like, yeah, totally just eat half. But then you start eating it and you forget that it's not a brownie and you eat like 3 because you're like, I love brownies. So I ate like a lot of hot dogs and I barfed.
If you could learn a new skill or about a different profession through a role, what would you want it to be and why?
Dance. I would love to be properly taught to like, really move my body with grace. I've never, I did like some tap and ballet when I was like 3 years old and basically picked my nose for the entire class. So that is what the videos show. Like truly is me in a leotard with my finger like halfway up my nose and people being like, Jenny, let's go. And me just being like, so I don't know. I think dance, I think like that would be so nice to be able to really know how to, like put your body in like a proper scale or like how you hold your hands during different ballet movements. I think that would be really, really nice.
What is the most memorable rap gift you ever received from a project?
Wow. I'm drawing a total blank. Like, oh my gosh. One time Vanessa Bayer gave me a gift certificate to Nordstrom and it was like the sweetest, most considerate thing. We were filming somewhere where that was like the store, that was like the main store where we were all going. And that's what I need. I need something useful. I need something that's like, this is, now you have no excuses for going to buy your new bra.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Collider Ladies Night. I am so excited to welcome Jenny Slate to the show for a whole bunch of reasons, but in particular because Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, the feature, is officially one of my favorite movies of 2022.
That's nice. Thank you.
I'm sure you heard a lot of this, but I love the shorts. But I'm a little concerned. I'm like, how are you going to turn this into a full feature and actually sustain the full feature running length? And I mean, you guys just like above and beyond exceeded my expectations.
That's good. I mean, I have heard a few people say that, but of course it wasn't really a question in our minds because we had the idea and we thought, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we were like cocky about it, but we believed in it. We believed in it. But I think that's the entire thing sort of about Marcel from the beginning is that it would be really hard to pitch it, even the shorts. Like if you were to tell someone like, I want to make a short with no plot about like a one-eyed shell who's not a real animal that you've ever known about, who doesn't have any arms and he's stop motion, but his mouth will be regular animation and it's going to be improvised. I mean, people would just be like, I couldn't possibly help you,
This is why you're on that side of the business and I'm on this side of the business. You've got the creative ambition and the confidence in yourself, and I love it. First question I usually start with is asking someone for the movie, performance, personal experience, whatever it may be, that first made them say, I want to become an actor. But you've worn so many different hats on a wide variety of projects over the years. So what was the very first dream? What is the first thing you envisioned yourself doing in the entertainment industry?
I want to be a movie actor. Yeah. I really only want to be a movie actor. I end up like doing other things, and now that I've written a book, I can't get enough, and I'm writing another one. But if I had to like just only do one thing, I would be an actor.
Going off of when you graduated from college, so you found a whole lot of success with Big Terrific, but you have these early ambitions to become an actor. So it does make me wonder, it's great to have success in a different realm like that, but was there any fear that, I guess, kind of making a name for yourself in that sector first could have derailed you or could have boxed you in? Because as we all well know, this is an industry that loves to box people into their first big success.
Sure, and also I think, a lot of people can feel like it's just, like, easier to know your bearings if you know every single thing around you, and sometimes, like, people will label people or categorize them just to make the labeler feels safe, and it sometimes doesn't make sense to the people that get labeled because we're all actually very complex. But so yeah, I was afraid. I started my career doing stand up because it was the only way that I could figure out how to perform. I didn't know how to audition for a play. I didn't know any other actors. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know anyone in the entertainment industry, but I knew my best friend Gabe Liedman, and he and I did stand up together and we were just talking. And I think it wasn't then that I was like, "Oh no, what if people don't know that I also want to act?" I think it was when I got on SNL, because that contract is so long, and like sometimes when you do, repeatedly show up in on the television and in the zeitgeist as a comedy person, you just might not get the chance to do drama, and that's like why I was very very lucky to do the movie Obvious Child, because it gave me both.
With that one, it is like obviously an absolutely fantastic movie. It got a whole lot of award season love. When something like that comes out, can you feel the reception to a movie like that change things for you, where it opens doors to different types of roles that maybe weren't available to you before?
I was very lucky. Yeah, I did feel that. Or at least that people sort of knew more of who I was as a performer and what my capabilities are. I think, if you want to be a working actor with a variety of work that you get to do, you hope for something like that. You hope to be introduced properly, like for how you are and what your talents are and what's possible. And so, yeah, I did feel that moment.
When something like that happens, is there anyone in your corner giving you advice and, saying to you, like, this is a great opportunity where there's a significant amount of momentum. Here is how I suggest you use that momentum to keep it going and to continue getting opportunities that inspire you like this?
I had friends that were just there with me to make sure that I felt like seen. Gillian Robespierre, who directed Obvious Child, and Elizabeth Holm, who produced it and also produced and co-wrote Landline and My Special and Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. They were with me. We were really a trio. I felt generally though like I had no idea what I was doing in terms of like just how everything worked. And you know what the one memory that does stick out for me is that, and I wonder if I maybe I'm the only one that remembers this, but I remember that Elliot Page told me at the time, "You should get somebody to, help you, you know, like, really get interviews that matter to you," and because I didn't have a publicist, I really didn't know how to enter the business, and, that was really helpful for me.
To add on to that, I always love asking this particular question, but when you're either newer to the onset environment or how the business works, is there a seemingly silly, very basic question about the way the industry operates that you wish you had asked sooner?
I guess I would have asked a lot more, "Do I really have to do this?" Like, how important is this that I actually show up to this place and do this? Because I like to spend my house time in my house. I'm like a house mouse. I live in Massachusetts in a small town. I live in an old house by the ocean with my husband and my baby. At that time, I lived in Hollywood. I was kind of told, like, you got to go to this party and that party and that party. And most of them I went to alone. I did not enjoy that. I just was so afraid of turning things down, but not exactly sure why I was showing up, and that made me feel really foolish. Um, and so now I do what I think is important. I talk to the people that I think are important to, representing my work, or people who will like help say like the Marcel movie is out and you should see it because I want people to see it. But um I wish I had known that you don't need to let everything and everyone eat you like you are a meal, because you're not. And I think it's really, really important just to figure out in general, not just in like what I do, but like, why are you interacting with who you're interacting with? What do you want more of? What do you like? What feels like it hurts? Go farther away from what hurts, and then, talk to someone you love about like why that does hurt. Figure it out, you know?
You're giving me so many little nuggets right now to put in my back pocket and make sure I remind myself of on a regular basis. Before jumping into Marcel full force right now, this feels like a weird question to be asking you because I literally said this in my review of the movie. If there were an Academy Award category for voice acting, this is the type of performance that should be nominated. You've done a significant amount of voice acting work over the years.
Yeah.
Do you think it is about time that that particular category is added to the lineup?
Of course I do. Voice performance is deep, focused, and while you could do it, I guess, in any outfit you choose, you have to only use one part of yourself to show everything. Especially like for me with Marcel, I don't even have a body. If you're doing something where things are already animated, like you can kind of tailor your voice to the image that you're seeing. But, you know, um, our animator, our director of animation, Kirsten Lepore, on the Marcel movie did such an incredible job of showing emotion in the body, especially when you think like Marcel is not an actor. Every single time his shell moves even slightly, that's all Kirsten being like, this is the emotion, this is the percentage of the emotion. I'm showing it in this beautiful articulation. But yeah, I do think that. And I think it would encourage a lot of beautiful performances. And I think it would put new focus on animated work. Like if more people could see all the Studio Ghibli films, for example, they would expect different things out of their narratives. They would expect different stuff out of their content anyway. And maybe they also would see the world in a nicer way. Like those films are so incredible. They're so open-minded. They're so experimental and such mastery of like the visuals, and the plots are so weird and they're so perfect.
What was the break story moment on this particular script? Was there anything that came to you and Dean and you're like, we got it now. This is how we turn Marcel into a feature film story?
I don't think it was really like that. I mean, and Dean and I as writers, and we have a co-writer, Nick Paley. I don't it's not really how it worked. Like it was such a gradual process, and it was Dean and Nick who were the ones that would listen to the audio and then go through and like transcribe it and then write scenes that needed to go in, that it was like, oh, we need a moment here that's not there, or oh my goodness, the plot needs to go this way. I don't know. It felt like it was always a string of moments that was like, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, because the way the plot was built was like over years of recording, writing, re-recording, improvising. Like there was just a continuous process of engagement there.
I was reading in the notes that you two deliberately wanted to make this movie on your own and not turn to a studio to make it happen. So now that you do have a feature film under your belt, is that something that you would consider in the future?
It depends on who the people are, you know? That's all. Everything depends on who the people are and what they want, and what their mandate is. Like if they have a corporate mandate to do something that doesn't seem interesting to me or seems restrictive to me as an artist, maybe that would be a good match for some projects for sure. Like I've just written like a really broad comedy that is based off of my love for comedies in the 90s, like Wayne's World and The Addams Family and Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Tommy Boy especially. That's sort of like, it's really character based. It's like the kind of comedy where someone's wearing a wig, and like a character comedy. And that's something that I would love to make with a studio. And that's because like it's suited for that type of environment and those types of notes. Because Marcel like lives in Dean and my hearts and psyches, we just like really need to be very careful, because either it feels good or it doesn't, and there is not much in between.
All right, I gotta let you go now. Huge thank you for your time today. Big congratulations on everything you accomplished. Thank you for everything you shared. And I am rooting so hardcore for Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, the feature film. Everybody out there, please go rush out and see it. Trust me, it is wonderful.
Thanks so much. This was really fun.